Now in this video on Vita JYM, I want to cover precisely the ingredients that I purposely left out of Vita JYM. Now, for the uneducated who look at my Vita JYM formula, you might think it's missing some very critical micronutrients. Might turn some people away. The problem is that you just simply can't take an all-in-one multivitamin. If you're looking for an all-in-one multivitamin, then Vita JYM is not for you. And you're not going to get the full benefits of all the critical vitamins and minerals that you need. Now watch my other videos on Vita JYM that cover why people like you and me need higher amounts of most micronutrients. And watch my other videos on Vita JYM that covers the problems with almost every other multivitamin on the market today and that Vita JYM avoids. Now the problem with most multivitamins today is the fact that it includes minerals that interfere with the absorption of other critical micronutrients in the multivitamin. And these are the ones that I left out of Vita JYM. Now the first one I left out is zinc. Now people think, whoa, well, we need zinc. Yes, you're right. You definitely need zinc, and I highly recommend you take zinc, but I recommend it taking as a ZMA later in the day away from when you take your Vita JYM. Why do you need to take zinc separate from the rest of your micronutrients? Well, first of all, zinc has been found to interfere with amino acid absorption. Well, there's no amino acids in Vita JYM or most multivitamins, but when do you take your multivitamin? It's best to take a multivitamin with a meal. Now hopefully, every one of your meals is a high protein meal, at least if you're interested in gaining lean muscle mass. So if you're taking a multivitamin with zinc in it at your meal, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a protein shake, well, guess what? The zinc in there may be interfering with the uptake of the amino acids from the protein in your meal. Big problem if you're concerned about building muscle. That's just one reason why you want to avoid zinc. Zinc also interferes with copper uptake. And copper is a very critical micronutrient for those of us who train. You need a precise ratio of copper to zinc. It's about a 1 to 10 ratio. So since you need about 30 milligrams of zinc, which is perfect for ZMA, you need about 3 milligrams of copper. That's exactly what I've provided in Vita JYM. If you take zinc with your multivitamin, that's a problem because it's going to interfere with the copper uptake. And then you're going to be off balance on that ratio of zinc to copper. Another problem with multis that include zinc and iron is that iron actually interferes with zinc. So you got to get zinc out of your multivitamin, which is precisely what I did with Vita JYM. Take that at night without any food in your ZMA formula, or if you don't want to get ZMA, take zinc, a 30 milligram zinc supplement later in the day without food. What else did I leave out of Vita JYM? Calcium. Well, calcium is very important for all of us, not just women, men as well. In fact, some research shows that men who take higher calcium levels have higher testosterone levels when they train. So calcium can be important for guys who want to maintain higher testosterone levels, especially when you work out, which can be one of the most critical times to have a high testosterone level, since testosterone is important for building muscle mass. It's not just for building healthy bones, which is also important for both men and women. Why no calcium? Well, calcium interferes with zinc. And you think, well, there's no zinc in here anyway. Well, calcium also interferes with manganese, which is another micronutrient that you need. So I've left the calcium out. Plus, those of you who are taking ProGym, and if you haven't seen my ProGym yet, take a look. Not only is it the absolutely best tasting protein on the market, but it's the only non-proprietary protein blend. I list every single source of protein by the gram so you know exactly what you're getting. Well, ProGym provides 400 milligrams of calcium per serving. So 3 servings of ProGym per day, your calcium is completely covered, and you're getting it at a separate time of day away from your multivitamin. Another problem with most multivitamins is magnesium. Well, magnesium interferes with calcium. Well, luckily calcium's not in Vita JYM, but it also interferes with manganese. I recommend taking ZMA, which is zinc and magnesium, as well as vitamin B6, but zinc and magnesium are the main active ingredients in ZMA. So I left magnesium out of Vita JYM for those reasons. Get it later in the day as ZMA, particularly at night. Magnesium has been found to enhance sleep quality, so you're much better taking it about an hour before bed with your zinc and your ZMA formula. Those two together work best at that time of day. Another micronutrient that I left out is phosphorus. Well, the problem with phosphorus is that we get so much in our diet that if you're supplementing with it, you could be getting too much phosphorus. What does too much phosphorus do? Well, it can interfere with the conversion of vitamin D into its active form. And it's that active form that provides the majority of its benefits from increasing muscle strength. Vitamin D has been also found to enhance testosterone levels, it boosts mood, immune function, and it enhances calcium absorption. Now, getting into vitamin D, I left vitamin D out of Vita JYM. Many people see that as a problem. But no, there's a reason for this. You should be taking your vitamin D when you take your calcium. Vitamin D enhances the uptake and the utilization of calcium. So it's ridiculous to take it with a multivitamin that's smart enough to leave calcium out. Take your vitamin D and in the form of D3 when you take your calcium. If you're getting your calcium for ProGym, take your vitamin D when you take your ProGym. If you take a calcium supplement, take that vitamin D when you take your calcium supplement, but take it separate from Vita JYM. Now, how do you take Vita JYM? Well, clearly it leaves out, like I said, calcium, zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D. Those are the 4 main micronutrients that you want to take in addition to Vita JYM. Like I said, if you buy ProGym, using ProGym, and you really should, that's a whole different video. Look for my videos on ProGym at gymsupplementscience.com. But you should be getting your calcium in ProGym, taking your vitamin D3, about 2,000 to 6,000 IUs or international units of vitamin D3 when you take your calcium. Then there's zinc and magnesium. Like I said, get that in a ZMA. Take that about an hour before bed. People say, well, what if I take ProGym before bed or any other source of casein protein before bed? The calcium and the protein will interfere with the zinc, and the zinc will interfere with the amino acid uptake of the protein. Take your zinc, magnesium, or your ZMA, which I highly recommend you do, about an hour before bed. Then take your ProGym or your other form of casein, could be cottage cheese or Greek yogurt, immediately before bed, a good hour after you've taken your ZMA. So, that in a nutshell is what I left out of Vita JYM and why. And be sure to read my articles on Vita JYM, on what's in it, and more detail on what I left out and why, and how to take it. All at JYMSupplementscience.com.